Hello, dear friends. As I promised to update you regularly on the situation in Ukraine, today I want to make the summary of this day one of Russian invasion, Russian aggression against Ukraine. It's 11 p.m. in Ukraine, and no, it's actually midnight, over midnight in Ukraine. Time flies. And we can kind of draw the line what happened today and what it all means for our country and for the world in general, because these events are undoubtedly affecting the whole world. So, as I told in previous video, we woke up this morning in a completely different, completely new world. With our cities being shelled by Russian rockets and with Russian troops invading Ukraine from several directions. And during the day, a lot of fighting was going on in various parts of Ukraine. I'm sure you're following all that through major media outlets. I don't need to repeat the facts. What I want to give in this video is just my take on the situation from the inside, so to speak. Obviously, we all spend the days on internal media platforms and Telegram channels and various social media, closely following the events and listening to various experts that analyze what's happening here on the ground. And also we talk to people, we feel the society, what's going on inside. And I want just to make few highlights of this day. First of all, I think we managed, our society, our military managed to stop Russia. Not completely, I'm not speaking about that in any triumphalistic tones, but as a matter of fact, this blitzkrieg that was planned by Putin did not happen. Our army managed to change the plans of the invaders, to slow them down, in some cases to actually push them back, and certainly not to allow them to realize their plans for today. One example I can give you, there is an airport next to Kyiv that is a military airport. It was taken over by Russian troops several times this day, and then taken over back by Ukrainian troops. This is a strategic point, because if that airport stayed in the hands of Russians, they could use it during the night for landing their big airplanes with airborne units that could take over the capital during the night. We don't know what will happen during the night. We hope for a rather peaceful night after this day, because Russian troops also need regrouping and some rest and so on. But who knows what will happen. But this day ends in relative certainty, relative peace, and relative feeling that Ukrainian army actually resisted rather well. And we have good hope for tomorrow, for the next days, especially if the international pressure on Russia increases. Regarding the mood in the society, I think people are as united as never before. There are lines of young men willing to be enlisted in the army in various like local battalions and centralized army structures, and they really wait on the street for a long time to go through the procedure, to receive weapons, and to be integrated in the military structures and taken to the front lines. There are different reports from all over the country about really heroic actions of ordinary people, of Ukrainian soldiers who stop tanks, who managed to use these weapons that were given by the United States or Great Britain to effectively fight the invasion. But even simple people throw cocktails of Molotov and different kind of primitive means of fighting, throw them at Russian tanks or armored vehicles. And as the result, in some cases, Russian soldiers abandon their positions and leave because they were not psychologically prepared for this type of warfare. Sometimes they were actually not even told they would be sent into Ukraine to kill civilians or to fight with the Ukrainian army. So we can speak about certain psychological and spiritual victory of this day. Again, we don't know how the situation will develop. We have patriotic feelings, but we are not naive. We understand we are dealing with strong adversary. And as I said before, we rely on international help, on international support. Also, many people are donating their blood to special medical centers that take the blood to the front lines, to military hospitals for the soldiers or for wounded civilians. Finally, there is a religious point that is important for me. Many people keep emailing me, sending different messages from various countries that they are praying for Ukraine. And also we held prayer services here nationwide. People of various denominations, Christian denominations, and probably other religions pray for peace and for victory, that we can withstand this aggression and defend our independence. Because for us, this war is war for independence. It's not a war of nationalism or some kind of ambitions of politicians. No, it's about the existence of Ukrainian nation, about its right to decide its own fate. And that's why people are so eager, so filled with enthusiasm and spirit to fight towards their lives. And civilians are helping the army. There's this great feeling of unity in the Ukrainian nation these days. There are a lot of internally displaced people who are moving from east of Ukraine westward to Lviv, to other parts of Western Ukraine, and even to neighboring countries. Probably we are facing a huge refugee crisis in Eastern Europe, at least, which can also affect probably larger Europe at some point. It's too early to say about that. It depends how long this active phase of the war will last, and we hope it will not last long, and we hope for the next day, for tomorrow, to be hopefully decisive breakthrough with effective intervention of international community. But we rely first of all on our army, on our government, which also displayed rather strong position in this situation. And we rely on God, and we ask your prayers, your support. And I will be informing you about the situation tomorrow. Good night.